Welcome back to Love and Hustle. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Zach.
And this is the part where... Golly.
We're a little rusty.
I know, I was going to say.
Been out of commission for a few days.
I know. Hey, I have an excuse.
I don't. I know.
Okay, let's try that. Let's take it from the top. Welcome. And...
Cut.
Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to be serious now. Professional. Okay. Welcome back to Love and Hustle. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Zach.
And this is the podcast where couples, companies, and chaos collide.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so this is part 3 of a I don't know how many part episode where we are talking about my mommy makeover. This time we are talking about it post-op. I am almost 2 weeks post-op.
It's been a fun 2 weeks, but she's doing fantastic. Recovery has been a slow but steady process.
Yes. So I thought we would just kind of give like a little recap. And today I have my post-op, my second post-op appointment, and Emma, who edits our podcast, is coming with us. And we are going to put the surgeon on the spot and ask her if she'll be on the podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
that's exciting.
I don't know if you remember, but I asked her while she was marking me if she's ever been on a podcast, and she said no.
Yeah, that would be really cool
Yeah,
for her.
yeah. So, yes. So, okay, so where do we start? I did do a quick little poll on Instagram and asked people what they wanted me to talk about. So let's take a little peek. So perfect. There's a couple of good questions. It hasn't been up but for a few hours. So the question was, what surprised you most about post-operation and about the healing process? I don't know. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. So if you listen to the last episode, I talked about going under anesthesia being my absolute biggest fear. The vulnerability of like laying on the table, just kind of, I was talking about my experience having been a nurse, been in the room when I'm on the other side of the bed, essentially, right? And it was actually not nearly as scary. And I have to say, when I laid on the table, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing it. Okay, it's happening. And I was like, I feel so safe right now. Mm-hmm. I like literally was like, oh my God, I'm like doing it and I'm not scared. And like, she's like, okay, think of just like a really happy dream. And I was like, I deserve this. I like can't wait to like feel positive in my clothes again. Like I've worked so hard to be able to like love like all these things, right? And she was like, okay, you're thinking about your dream. Awesome. Just take a couple of deep breaths for me. And then I was out.
Yep.
And the next thing I knew, I was in the car with you. Mm-hmm. I actually don't remember waking up. I don't remember like recovery.
For 45 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, I don't remember them doing. I do know. So Casey was my nurse. She was actually Chloe's nurse in labor and delivery, which was so special to have her be at least a part of it with me again. And she said that I kept apologizing for like everything. And so, which I kind of like can see, because I think I know the crazy that can come out of patients. And I just don't want to be that person. Yeah. Like, so I'm just like profusely apologizing for anything I may have done that was completely out of my control while I was under the influence of medications and all the things. So if you have ever, like if you've thought about having surgery, or like maybe you know that you need to have surgery, but it's like, it's something that you've put off because you're terrified of it. I just want to tell you that literally the anesthesia part was the least scary part of the entire process. What actually has been 10 times worse than that is recovery.
Yeah.
Is recovery. So I actually, Zach, I don't even really, like, I just feel like it was a blur from the time I got in the car to like day 2 was really a blur. I slept a ton. you weren't there when they brought me out. They just told, so your perspective, let's share with them your perspective.
Well, so I mean, I came in early and it was a 6.5 hour surgery. So originally I intended to hang out in the office, but they didn't have good Wi-Fi. So I did leave and run some errands. And then I came back and kind of just sat in the office and ultimately went out and sat in the car. And they texted me when she was done and said, okay, she's going to go to recovery for like 45 minutes. We'll text you to pull around and pick her up. So I sat there and for about 45 minutes, they texted me and I went around and got you and took you home. I do highly recommend if you're a husband who's going to be picking up a wife post-op, make sure that everything you need is going to be at the house because you're going to be helping her out for a little while, and get her a smoothie. That was like one thing that I kind of dropped the ball, but I ordered it in the car and had it arrive via DoorDash so that it was there when we got home.
Yeah, so that was a recommendation from Monica, our hair and makeup artist, and Monica had recently had work done as well, and she was saying that her throat hurt so bad from the intubation, which surprisingly enough, my throat didn't hurt, but maybe it's because I had my smoothie.
You had a smoothie, and it was like, I think you also were experiencing a lot of heat. You were cold, but it was from like the laser that you had.
Yeah, well, and I got, all I remember was in the car, I sort of like, I don't remember anything from when they put me out to all of a sudden I was standing and walking to the car. And I remember looking down at my feet, and I remember seeing my feet. And then I remember getting in the car and being like, holy hell, this is the most miserable I've ever experienced. I was shivering. Mm-hmm. And you guys, like, I was like, you know how you get those like little shivers? Like this, like little, like, ooh, it's cold. No, I was like profusely shivering.
Yeah,
it
was bad.
Like if I was sitting in a chair, the chair would have been like shaking across the floor. Like it was profusely, like, I don't want to say convulsing, but like the shivering was not delicate. Okay. It was full body, head to toe. Which apparently is really normal when you're coming out of anesthesia. I do remember experiencing shivers from every single one of my epidurals and every single one of my deliveries. I remember shivering, but this was like 10 times the shivering. And that was a really miserable experience because not only that, I had just like had major abdominal surgery. I had sutures all over my body. And then now I'm having these uncontrollable movements of my body continuously that just like didn't stop. So we finally get home, get me in bed, and I was out for like hours and hours.
Slept a fair amount. I was a good pharmacist husband and kept you properly medicated.
Yes, yes. So, okay. So I'm sure that, so as far as, I feel like I should talk about the procedure with the surgeon. I just feel like she could give so much more insight into the actual surgery and like the results and what we ended up going with and
why we did.
Yeah. And there's some people who've asked questions specifically related to the surgery itself. And I feel like if I can talk her into being on the podcast, I'll let her answer those questions. But, so the recovery, I was told by many of you in DMs that have had this procedure that the boobs would be nothing, that the upper bleph would be literally like skipping through a field of daisies, like nothing. Okay. Agreed. 1000% agree. The part that has been horrible has been the actual tummy tuck. And I don't want to, there's a few layers to that. One, you have to be hunched over, which for me has not been terrible. You do have to sleep sitting up. Hasn't been terrible. There's been a few nights that have been awful. Like I've learned, like I learned pretty quickly, like the sequencing of medications to ensure that I get a good night's sleep, because one night we got it wrong. Yeah, we got it wrong. And I was horrible. My sleep score on my Oura ring was like a 42. Whereas like previous nights, it was like an 80. So I learned pretty quickly, like medications and staying on top, like obviously like I had been staying on top of them. Up until that point, we like kind of lost track of things, but, The other part I would say is like, you basically can't use your abs. You can't. So Zach had to physically like lift me up in bed. He had to,
swivel her out so she could
yeah,
step out.
like swivel me. Yeah. Lifting my legs up to get the pillow underneath my knees for sleeping at night. Any type of bending movement, was very, very challenging. And you were having to pretty much, anytime I had to engage my abs, you had to be there. I would say that was for the first 10 days. The last 2 to 3 days have gotten so much better. But I will say there's something that I've learned now. There's called like the post-surgery blues. And it usually sinks in around 1 to 2 weeks. And so when I saw the doctor, the surgeon for my first post-op appointment, I started crying. And she's like, yeah, this is normal.
Tummy tuck blues, yeah.
Yeah, but I've heard that people will even get it too with really any type of surgery. It's like the isolation, it's being home, it's being bedbound, it's like all of those things. And then on top of that, I thought I was getting sick.
Well, you were.
Yeah, I was getting sick.
Yeah.
So
That's
on Tuesday, I got a call. They were just calling to check on how I was doing. And I told the nurses, like, I'm pretty sure I'm getting sick. Like, I have a lot of like junk in my lungs. I feel like I need to cough, but if coughing, try coughing when you've had your entire like abdominal muscles sewn together and your abdomen completely opened and now pulled very, very tight. It is the like pain scale, like 1 out of 10, I would put it at like an 8 to cough. I put it at an 8. And
so she's been refraining.
So I've been refraining.
Mucus has been building up and it's
yeah, and so then you also now you throw in the fact that I'm a very active person. I move a lot. My body my body never sits still, like ever, except at sleeping.
Like ADD for that, but
yeah. So and then you put me in a bed where like now it's just kind of like you're just sedentary, right? And now it's just like festering, right? And so the mucus got worse. So then they gave me an incentive spirometer, and then they also gave me albuterol. And by the next, so I saw her on, I think Tuesday, by Wednesday, exactly 1 week post-op, I was miserable. No, I wasn't. I had a miserable night, and then I was okay during the day, and then Thursday hit, and that, like, I think Thursday, Friday, days 8 and 9, it was really bad. And I don't think it would have been bad had I not been sick. And so, yeah, I was just coughing up, you guys know, like, I don't have to tell you, it was bad. And I still have it. Definitely still like remnants of it. But I'm better.
Yep.
So, but my pharmacist husband assured me, he's like, listen, based on the antibiotics they have you on, it is going to treat whatever is in your lungs. But it was odd. Why did I get sick when I've been on antibiotics?
It doesn't matter. It's a different type of bacteria, but yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, anyways, needless to say, I fought.
Powered through.
I powered through. And now what's really interesting, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't know if coughing has just become less painful because now I'm just used to it, or has coughing become less painful because my abs have healed, or I'm like, has coughing become less painful because I literally ripped every suture in my abdomen?
Nah.
I don't know.
Your stomach looks really good.
So,
there's no
I
bleeding or any of that stuff.
I did message, I kind of got into like a very casual DM, and I was like, do you think it's possible, with a surgeon on Instagram, I was like, do you think it's possible I could have torn my sutures? She did share with me that my diastasis was pretty severe, and that my connective tissue was very thin. And so she actually did 3 layers, is what she said. And so she's like, she's like, 3 layers, you're good. So that was very reassuring. So all in all, that has been up until you guys might hear me breathing on this podcast, and you might hear me wheeze a little bit, or hopefully I don't cough, because that will be edited out for everyone's enjoyment of this podcast. But overall, everything's great. So, okay, I'm going to ask you, because the audience wants to hear your voice, babe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so when I showed you my boobies the first time, what'd you think?
I mean, I've always thought your boobies look great.
Okay.
However, they look amazing.
Yeah.
I need to throw in, so like, I know you guys will get into this, but she was super concerned when she found out that the doctor used different cc's.
Yeah, we're not going to get into too much of the details of that.
But
there are different sizes.
I would just say that the doctor took a very artistic approach and used her vision to look and see and say, this looks better. This looks symmetrical. She wasn't just saying, oh, this has got to be the same as that. And I agree. Like, we're an artistic family, and I think that's important. Plastic surgery is it's an art as much as it is a science. So I think they look very good.
I think that's such a valid thing you just said, because one of the things as a nurse, and especially in ICU, is like, numbers are numbers, but what you see in front of you, that's where like nurses would become instrumental in patient care, because a nurse would take care of somebody, for a couple of days, 12-hour shifts, back to back 3 shifts. And they'd be like, I remember when I was a NICU nurse, I'd be like, but it just doesn't look right. Like, it didn't look like that 3 hours ago. Mm-hmm. And the doctor's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. But the numbers are fine. And I'd be like, come the next day. And I'm like, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And the doctor comes in and they're like, yeah, but the numbers don't say it. And because doctors get so fixed on numbers, because they're in another room. All they can do is look at numbers. And so I appreciate you talking about visual, because I think sometimes doctors have a really hard time stepping away from numbers and actually stepping into, what does it look like? What are we literally seeing in front of our very eyes? So yes, I have different sizes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm a numbers guy. That's my job. However, numbers often appear too late. So the fact that she's talking more from a progression standpoint as patients either get better or get worse and things. But I just found it fascinating that she chose a surgeon that she felt comfortable with, she felt safe with. And ultimately, again, that fear of putting her life and her outcomes in the hands of a surgeon where she has no say, she's completely out, it's like being done to her, was scary for her. But I think she chose the right surgeon. I think she vibed well, and they connected in a way where she felt comfortable and confident. And then the surgeon did a great job. They look amazing.
Yeah. I love them.
You should.
Okay, so I'll try to illustrate a little bit, because the audience probably wants to know. Am I cutting you off?
No, I'm just thinking, how are you going to illustrate this?
Okay, so I'm basically the exact same size that I was going into surgery. I'm just fuller on the top, which is exactly what I told her I wanted. I said, I want to look like me. I'm happy with the size that I have been. Now, granted, I've gotten all the way up to a G when I was breastfeeding, but I was like, what I am, like, I just want it fuller on the top. I was like, I want my cute boob back, the cute part of your boobies, the cute part. We have to tell them what Chloe said. I don't know if we shared this.
Kids are amazing. They are fantastic.
So Chloe went to her teacher and she said, my mommy is getting her boobies lifted.
Nope.
What did she say?
She said, my mommy's having surgery. She's getting her boobies picked up.
Yes, her boobies picked up.
Because we kept on saying the word lift, and in her mind, lift meant
pick up. Yeah. And speaking of Chloe, so it was Monday. It was, what is today? Wednesday? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
No, so it was yesterday. Maybe it was Friday. I can't remember. Anyways, it's all a blur. Chloe, you got home, and Chloe, like, I hear the garage door open. Our bedroom's very close to the garage. And the door opens immediately. In comes Chloe, walks right around the bed. She comes, pops her little head up on my side of the bed, and she goes, Mommy, how are you feeling? And I was just like, oh my God, I just want to hold this moment. Like, just,
She's the tender one.
She is such, like, people will say to me, she's so motherly. Like, she has such a nurturing, like, energy. She just naturally cares. You remember when she was like 3 years old and she would sit next to Scarlett and she'd rub Scarlett's back? You know, after Scarlett was just really mean to her, she would like just be there.
Like,
Scarlett wants to like run away. She's like, stop touching me. But Chloe's just like rubbing her back, just like very casually. Anyways, so that just was a really...
She's the tender-hearted one.
That was a very sweet moment for me to see my...
One of the children come in and actually see how you're doing.
Yeah. I miss holding my squishy Lukey. I miss him. Like, I just have sat down next to him on the couch and I'm just like squeezing his thighs and
I think if you look really
arms.
close to like the side of my body, you'll see an imprint of Lucas. He's become a sucker fish.
Yeah, no, seriously. Lukey's like, yeah, no, he has. And he was kind of like that before we even had surgery.
Yeah, it's just gotten
crazy.
crazy.
He definitely is in that, like, I want to be held. You guys know, like, if you have kids, they go through phases where they're just like uber clingy. You sprinkle spring break in there where he was just getting to spend a lot of time with us and he's just, just like right on you. Over the weekend, I took 2 naps with Lukey.
Ooh,
yeah,
lucky.
It was very special. Zach was out hustling Pokemon, okay?
I sure was.
And so he was at a Pokemon conference with
vending
a
at
booth.
Yeah, vending at a show
With
hosted by the Syndicate Card Trade Show.
With a booth, Oaks Laboratory.
Yeah.
Booth number.
I don't even know what the number was.
Yeah, but anyways.
We did good. It was
Yeah,
a good
so
time.
he was out slinging Pokemon and Zach got me a babysitter, obviously, because I could not watch the 2 little kids. I can't pick up Lukey. I can't change the diaper. Yeah. So, but when Lukey fell asleep both times, the babysitter brought Lukey in and let Lukey sleep right next to me, which was really special. We got to take a nap together.
Nice.
Yeah, which is like, I never nap. Yeah, this has been really, really fun. It's been a great, minus being sick. So today
Today's a fun day because you get what? You get something taken out.
I get my tubes removed. So I currently have 2 drains. They are that was one thing that thankfully I talked to a lot of people about their experience with this. And so the drains are placed in different spots depending on the surgeon's preference. However, my surgeon said if you want them somewhere else, I could put them somewhere else. And then that kind of piqued my interest of, okay, great, I have a choice. What would be the best? I ultimately chose to have them placed. They normally place them like down near your bikini, like they call it your bonds area. But
pubic area. Yeah.
Now, yes, exactly. And you will have 2 scars from the insertion site. And I just really didn't want that. And so I opted to have the drains placed closer to my hips. And so they're probably, you probably still won't see them when I'm wearing a swimsuit. Even if I were wearing like a string swimsuit that ties on the side, you probably still won't see them. So they're not all the way to my hip, but they're placed just below the incision line. That has been miserably uncomfortable. Yesterday, somebody was here at the house to give me a quote for some AstroTurf, and I wasn't prepared. I forgot that he was coming, and I was like, oh crap, what do I put on? What do I put on quickly? And so I threw on a robe, but it's been really interesting to figure out what clothing I can wear and disguise my drains. But I found a few pair of pants that I can take the drains off the hooks and put them in my pockets. And anyways, so needless to say, I hopefully will get my drains removed today. Some people will I've talked to people who've had 4 drains. They've even had drains for their breasts. Thankfully, I did not have 4 drains because they are very uncomfortable. The insertion sites are very pinchy. And I've gotten my drains caught twice now on handles of cabinets, which has been extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
Yes. So needless to say, that has been probably one of the worst parts is the tummy tuck and the drains specifically around the tummy tuck. The girls are looking fabulous. I absolutely love them. I believe the tape stays on for quite some time. She told me I'll be in a compression bra for quite some time. But overall, I'm really happy with the size. I did what every surgeon does not want me to do, which I joined a Facebook group.
Oh, man.
I joined a Facebook group. But I will say the Facebook group has been really interesting, and I really hope that she'll choose to be on a podcast with me because I think what happened in my surgery with the different sizes is a very gray area that a lot of people would want to listen to. A lot of people would want to hear her professional opinion and how she ultimately decided on what she did in the OR. But the Facebook group has been really interesting to just kind of like follow along with. And I think more than anything, it's just helps you to kind of stay informed on different scenarios and questions you should ask and things you should consider. Definitely people who are dropping products that have been helpful, finding bras more specific to your size. I did also join a tummy tuck group as well. I haven't been as active in that one. I think my tummy tuck there's just not a lot of people who have opted, who are my size and who have opted for a tummy tuck. So I haven't found that group to be as helpful as much as the breast augmentation group. So post-op appointment is today. Hopefully you guys, I will come home without drains. I currently have a 3-piece binder on. It's like it's a compression binder. It's a compression binder, and a lot of people actually wear these post-baby, just to help with like swelling and to decrease their postpartum tummy. I actually think it's what it's called. It's called a postpartum 3-piece binder, but it's also used surgically. So I have on a 3-piece, which is really honestly annoying. I think probably the most annoying part of it is how it actually it will kind of ride up on me and it starts to hit the incisions at the bottom of my breasts. And that is probably one of the most uncomfortable factors in it. But overall, it's not been like terribly annoying. Like I've been able to tolerate it, but I can see how somebody would get annoyed by the feeling of it quickly. But what's ahead for me? I have the drains removed. I believe she is removing the tape on my insertion site, and we'll look at that. And then I think I stay in this for at least a few more weeks before I go to what is called a faja, something like that. I don't know. I could be saying it wrong, but it's basically like shapewear. It's like shapewear that has a deeper compression component to it. I'm pretty sure like the Kardashians just wear them all the time. Which is honestly, after like looking at I can see how they get those tiny little waists. I like putting this thing on me. I'm like, yeah, you could definitely force your body into reshaping itself with how much of a turn it, like, gosh, this thing's so tight on me. But I just thought of something that I was going to share, is showering. Showering has been a very interesting topic in this Facebook group. I know that some people were not allowed to shower for like 5-7 days. I actually was instructed to take a shower.
Within the first 24 hours?
No, within the first 24 hours, which is probably really interesting for some people to hear because there has been vastly different answers. So I was told to like essentially give myself a sponge bath for like simplicity's sake of describing it. They gave me very specific instructions on how to do that. But I got to take a bath within the first 24 hours. And then, like there was no like limitation on that, which is wonderful. Now washing your hair, because you can't put your hands over your head. Zach has washed my hair And then I actually had Bree, who's one of our hair and makeup artists, but she also is a professional hairdresser. She came over and by the way, Bree might be like stealing your job as my colorist.
Oh.
Yeah. Zach's colored
Fabio will not.
Zach has colored my hair for like literally since we were dating. He's colored my hair. But Bree is coming over. Bree came over and washed my hair and gave me a blowout. So I've been doing pretty good in that sense. One of the things that I don't believe we talked about in the last episode that I wanted to talk about, did we talk about how much money I saved breastfeeding?
Yes, we did.
We did?
We did the math. Yeah.
We did the math?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Oh, it was substantial, but yeah. It's what paid for the...
Yeah. I basically paid for my own mommy makeover with the amount of money we saved from on formula. So, but yeah, so I have my first my second post-op appointment. We want to just pop in, give you guys a little update on all the things. Emma is going to be making a reel today with some of the behind the scenes that I have been capturing. Unfortunately, we do not have any video of the surgery. They asked me if I wanted video and I said no. I was like, you know what? There's a lot of things that I'm curious to see in life, but me on a table being sliced and poked and prodded and nope, I'm good. I just didn't want that in my brain, didn't need it. I didn't want to actually stumble upon it on their feed. And so I opted for that to be a no. And then you weren't really able to get any like post-op stuff until we got home.
Yeah.
So basically from the time that I get drawn on before surgery to coming home, there is zero behind the scenes. Wah, wah, wah.
Most surgeons don't want video documentation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but they were willing to take it from me. They were.
Yeah,
but
if they're the ones directing and
yes, of course. Yes, of course. So, but all that to say, I don't have any footage of that, but she will be doing a behind the scenes through my first 2 weeks post-op mommy makeover. So definitely be sure to head over to Brittany Elise Official. That is where it will be posted. Oh, and that's the other thing we didn't talk about. I had a laser on my face, and the kids were afraid of me for like the first 5 days because you guys, I had a TRL laser. A TRL laser is like a CO2 laser, but it is
iridium or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it uses a different medium. Instead of CO2, it uses.
It's like iridium or some other. Yeah.
I don't ERBIUM. Erbium. It uses erbium. That's it. It uses erbium, and I had essentially. The cool thing about this laser is you can do varying degrees of depth, and so you can go really heavy on someone's under eyes, but really light on their cheeks or their forehead. So she came in and you guys, I added this on the day before my surgery. I was like, listen, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to do all the things. In some ways, I wish I had done a little bit more, but
you did a ton.
Yeah, I did a ton. Y'all, so if you go over to Brittany Elise Official, you can see my first, second, third day post laser. I look like a burn victim. I literally had weeping wounds on my face. And
look at you now.
And literally I said, like, part of me was like, oh my God,
what have I
if
done?
this doesn't go well, this is going to be the moment where everyone's like, I told you so. And the kids were afraid of me because my face was just full blown. Y'all just go look at it. Yeah. It was like melting off. It was, I had open sores because she went really heavy under my eyes because I wanted to specifically target my fine lines and wrinkles in and around my eyes. And everywhere else, she treated it like a peel. So I more just like flaked off. It was very red, but I healed within by day 10, I could completely wash my face and I could put makeup on within 10 days. But you guys, go look at it. And now over the next 3 months, my body will start to build collagen in response to that ablative laser. And I will look younger.
Oh no.
You better step it up.
What am I to do?
I know. We gotta start getting you in there, you know?
Oh, the gym's calling me.
Gym? I was thinking Botox.
Hey, after
Man talks.
seeing the bluff, there is a time in my life where I will need a bluff. It's just hereditary. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I won't be able to see under my eyelids. So
Yeah.
that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, Zach literally said to me, you guys, I remember he came in and he was just looking at my face. Meanwhile, I'm like looking like a burn victim. But he's like, damn, your eyes look 10 years younger.
Mm-hmm. No more photographer eye either. No
Yeah,
more of that, droopy
no more. Yeah, my left eye my left eye from the viewfinder had more loose skin than my right eye. So, anyways, my scars are very minimal. My upper bleph was healed within 7 days.
Have you been massaging like you've been told?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yes, I'm putting the scar gel. Yeah. So, but all that to say, super happy with my upper bleph. I think some people may not even notice it, that I have had it, like, unless you know me really well and you've seen my eyes. And but the laser, I'll start to see those results over the next few months. Upper bleph, almost instant gratification. Highly recommend. And I love that I was able to do all of it while I was under. I didn't feel it, nothing. Whereas an upper bleph is usually done under just like local anesthetic in the office. You are typically awake for an upper bleph. And you are usually awake for a CO2 laser or this other type of laser. I do think that they kind of give you some extra medication to make you a little loopy on top of the numbing, depending on how deep they're going. But overall, I'm really happy with everything. And hopefully the next time I come on this podcast, I won't have drains anymore.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
So we will definitely be recording a multi-part series over the next couple weeks as I show my boobies to I got Scarlett's reaction to my boobies. Did I tell you? I showed Scarlett my boobies. And I let Scarlett touch them. She was very curious. She was like, oh, okay. Didn't really quite know what to process, but I'll be recording everyone's reaction, and hopefully I'll get my mom's reaction to my new boobs, and obviously some of the staff and things like that. I want to record their reaction. So more to come. Definitely head over to Brittany and Lisa Official, where I'll be posting tons more post-op. If you're not following me over there, please do. And thanks for joining us for today's episode. There'll be another part coming to you soon.
Sounds good. We'll see you next time.